I'd like to call the August 8, 2024 regular board meeting to order at 6 o'clock p.m. And if we can all stand, I'm going to lead us in invocation and then we'll do the pledge. Father, thank you so much for your love and your grace to us. Thank you for our board members, Dr. Thomas, Lord, our staff. I know many of them have spent a lot of time working on a lot of issues this last week. So thank you for their dedication to here and our students. I pray that you would give us wisdom and understanding as we continue to try to make decisions for what's best for our kids and our community. Lord, that you would continue to watch over and keep us safe, keep our kids in good health. And Lord, as we work through a few more kinks as the school year starts, I just pray you smooth all that out, that we can get about the business of education and doing what's best for our kids. And we trust you to do that in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Now I'd like to ask Tegan Deering if you'll lead us in the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, I'd like to thank our greeters tonight for tonight's meetings, Dr. Angela Crutchmeyer, from principal at Hill City Elementary, and Matt Combs, principal at Pickens High School. Thank you. The next item is approval of the agenda. Dr. Thomas, do you have any amendments to the agenda?
No, sir, I do not.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I'll move to make that.
Ms. Finley. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Mr. Trill. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? 5-0. All right. The agenda has been approved. All right. We got some recognitions now, so Dr. Thomas, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Lau. So our state has a summer program called Governor's Honors, or GHP, and it's on the campus of Georgia Southern University. And GHP is for skilled, talented, and knowledgeable high school sophomores or juniors who attend classes for 4 weeks in specific areas of study. And this is a very competitive process that starts every year in the fall and then concludes in March. Our students are first nominated by teachers at our high school, and then students fill out a detailed application. If their application is accepted, then they move on to the final round, which consists of an interview. And then from that interview, students are chosen to attend Governor's Honors. So with us tonight, we have two of our best and brightest, our current seniors. We have Christian Wright in the area of music and Briley Deering, who attended GHP in the area of math. And they've gone through this entire process, and they're going to share about their experiences and takeaways from being in Statesboro this summer at Governor's Honors. So Christian, we'll turn it over to you. Okay.
Good evening. Auditioning for GHP was probably one of the hardest processes I've ever had to go through in my life. Outside of personal affairs. It is beyond all state, it is beyond county level. I mean, it's hard, and you get to compete against some of your closest friends. With that being said, I was one of the only 8 tenors in the state of Georgia who made GHP. With this being said, there were 32 people in the entirety of the choir. And in the music program at GHP, out of the 650, there were 111 music students. Not only did GHP change my life on the way that I, wake up in the morning, but it changes the way that I see everything. It's nothing short of one of the best things I've ever done in my life. And this opportunity is a true blessing. So I'm thankful for everybody, including my teachers, peers, parents, grandparents, family members who helped me get to where I am. GHP was an experience where you get to live the life of a college student for 4 weeks. You go to sleep, live, eat everywhere in these dorms. You go to class every day. And as a musician, it was an interesting experience. What's cool about the music program is you take classes that are college level. They treat you like a college student, you become a college student. I took classes on music theory, jazz history, oddities in music, and then musical oral skills. These classes changed everything for me. I got to meet new people. More than anything, the experience made me a better person outside of musicianship. I also got to experience orchestral experience. Out of those 8 tenors, I auditioned for a solo and got the solo and performed Haydn's Creation. The amount of challenges you had to face every day, when you go to this experience, you don't know anybody and you come out knowing a family. What's really cool about this is the choir had 11 songs to memorize. On week 2, on Monday, we performed 3 of those memorized. On the final week, we performed all 11. So, I can say that GHP was a life-changing experience for me. Thank you.
Now we'll hear from Riley Deary.
Hi. So as stated before, I went for math, and during the program there were 80 other math majors, because 81 of us in total. And to be completely honest, at first I was kind of hesitant about this program, because 4 weeks at Georgia Southern doing nerd camp, I was like, I don't know how this is gonna go. And then the first 3 days, I absolutely hated it. There's over 600 other people there, and I was so just overstimulated with everything. I remember texting my mom and was like, Mom, this is not fun at all. I hated it. And then after the first week, I started to settle in, and then I started realizing that this is something completely different than anything I can experience at school. So for math, there were 18 different math classes we could choose from, but then we could only choose 3 to take. So I did a programming class, and then a game theory class, and sacred geometry. Now these classes, other than programming, you can experience programming at the high school. We have a couple of classes, it's one of our electives, but the other 2, the game theory and my sacred geometry class, these are classes that we would never be able to experience in the high school curriculum, all throughout the nation. And these are the smartest people ever that I was ever around. And so after the first week, once I was settled in a little bit more, I realized how much I could truly learn from all these other people. My professors were geniuses. I've never met anyone so smart, and all of my classmates, they were just at the same level. They were geniuses. I've just never been around so many motivated people. And the difference was, as talented as they are, they were just as motivated. And I've come to a little bit of a static in the past few years. I love learning. I've always loved learning. But I've come to a point where I was like, yeah, the learning's fun, but I just kind of lost a little bit of my motivation. But after these 4 weeks, it was a kick in. I was like, I love learning. I remembered why I loved learning. And being around these people was one of the most motivating processes of my entire life. And that's why I'm telling people now, I'm like, yeah, you guys need to apply to GHP. And I was like, just trust it out. You're gonna hate it for the first 3 days or so, because it's gonna be extremely overstimulating. Lots of people to meet at once. But then after that, once you settle in, once you get to meet some friends and you get to meet some of your roommates and you get along with everyone, you truly realize how changing it actually is in your life. Well, thank you.
All right, we're going to bring him back up, Dr. Thomas. So let's bring up Christian and Riley one more time.
Congratulations.
Thank you both Christian and Riley for sharing your experiences, and we're looking forward to seeing how many you can recruit to apply for GHP next year for Pickens High School. So it's great.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
All right. Well, Dr. Thomas, we'll keep the ball in your court as we're up to superintendent reports.
Thank you, Mr. Lau. At this time, we're going to turn it over to our Executive Director of Teaching and Learning, Dr. Abby May. Dr. May is going to talk about professional learning that we held on day 2 of pre-planning as we started rolling out our new ELA resources for the change in the ELA curriculum. So Dr. May, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. Excuse me, I'm a little under the weather, so I'm going to get through this hopefully without my coughing. But thank you for allowing me to speak and especially highlight the great things that we've been able to do with this adoption. So we had our training on the second day of pre-planning, and one of the first things we did was really talk through with our teachers the timeline of implementation. So we went as far back as kind of how we got to adopting the benchmark, and then we looked at where things are going to go from here. It's kind of nerve-wracking when you're a teacher to get new curriculum, and I know there was a lot of anticipation about it, so we wanted to give them an outlay of kind of what the next year or so would look like. Because in addition to these resources, we're also getting a new set of standards for ELA come next year. So we're kind of doing a training, if you will, of both over the next year. And we laid out this wonderful coaching opportunity and training that comes along with Benchmark. And so we gave lots of kudos to the board for approving this. Sometimes we get these resources without the right support, and luckily we were able to add that into our budget. And so we'll have training in July, there'll be additional training in August and November, and then each school will get 6 personalized coaching sessions with their teacher and 1 coach. So as the teachers have questions, support they may need for the resources, whatever that is, we really want to be able to build their fortitude and their ability to be able to get through kind of all the material and know the best way for instruction. And just a reminder of one of the wonderful things that we really loved about Benchmark is it includes all of these pieces. So it's got the diverse text, it has a scope and sequence, it's got a writing component, and it has assessments. So we really kind of made the playing field same, kind of everyone's at that same denominator, if you will. All of our schools are getting exactly what they need. And we had a great day. We had 2 sessions. I'm very thankful to our principals who bought lunch for everyone that day. It's really nice when you can feed them and sugar them up along the way. We were split into 3 different groups, so we went K1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and we're able to really get some personalized work within Benchmark and trying to see what questions they may have, what the outlook of those first 20 days is going to look like, building those routines for students, and ultimately understanding what's inside this great resource. We had a lot of smiles, a lot of really good feedback from both the school administration, from our coaches, assistant principals, and our teachers. Really enjoyed all being together in one place. We've had some great feedback and seen kind of things in action as we've started building those routines and planning together. So we're getting a lot of good feedback about the wealth of information within the resources. We even have like a candid, super excited teacher here about this kindergarten text. As I mentioned, there is a scope and sequence, which in academic terms is kind of what you do each day. And so teachers don't really have to overthink. The plan is there for them. Of course, they can adjust as needed, but it's there, and that you can see our teachers working on that. And what I love most about this picture is this shows our students learning the routines. And this may seem a little, I guess we'll call it whimsical, for students to be reading and they're standing and moving around, but what they're actually doing is working in a paired, kind of think pair share, where they're talking through a routine after a read aloud. So what we really want our students to do is build their own fortitude as well and be able to get through some challenging text, but be excited about reading and get their writing on board. So it is with great thanks that we are able to have this adoption, so I'm super thankful for that, and I think our teachers are as well.
Any questions, Dr. May? Dr. May, thank you very much.
Thank you.
At this time, we'll turn it over to our Chief Finance Officer, Ms. Amy Smith.
I
I didn't clear the room. It was Abby's fault. I don't get to say that, Abby. We got a couple of things for you. See, I have a few more reports than I normally do. We're still processing year end. We will be in year end close process until the end of September. That's why you see a 24 budget amendment out there tonight. I'm going to go ahead and give you a little information on that just so we have that before we get to the action items. We have some federal grants. We had a lot of amendments come in very late in the game, including in July. So I needed to get those things caught up. So hopefully that will be this last round you see for 24. It might not be, but I believe we're good now. We're still moving some things around because we have to be compliant with all the rules for federal grants. And sometimes when you do an amendment, you get it kicked back to you to say, we don't like it here. We don't like this description. We want you to move it here. So it's still allowable. It's still, sometimes they just want it coded and defined a different way. So sometimes we have to do journal entries and move it from place to place. So that's what a lot of that was for, and to match it with exactly how we spent. We have rules about how much leeway you have from function code to function code, even within those grant funds. So we're just making sure we're dotting those I's and crossing those T's. What Ms. Martha has pulled up for us is our FY25 general fund. Through the month of July, we collected 0.70% of our tentatively approved budget. At this point of the year, keep in mind, most of our revenue, July and August, all those things that most of our expense when it comes to anyone but 12-month employees gets backed into the prior year because we're still paying them for last year. So all the revenue that goes with those people goes back to 24 also. You'll also see in here, and I'm not going to have Martha pull it up, an updated FY24 budget, just so you see where we are at the moment. Again, we are still doing a lot of entries and cleanup in year-end process, so that will change some as we go, but I'll continue to provide that until we have the very final one, and you'll get to see that one too. We have expended 5.20% of our tentatively approved expenditures. If you'll scroll on down, our consolidation of funds, we're in very early stages of this. So right now we're spending money, but we're not getting transfers approved yet because a portion of this is federal money. We do not have FY25 approvals yet. That is a process too. Federal programs is diligently working on that, but we typically don't have those approvals till very late August or early September. So they don't allow us to make the transfers that go with this fund until those approvals come in. So it's not that people aren't doing what they're supposed to, it's just the process from the DOE it does lag into September most of the time, and sometimes October. Debt service, of course, we have no debt. Capital outlay, for the month of July, we collected $787,164.81, earned interest of $968.05, had expenditures of $2,782,973.30, and that brought our month-end SPLOST balance to $10,710,946.03. Special revenue, of course, remind you that this is school food and federal grants for the most part. We have collected 0% of our tentatively approved budget because those federal grants are not approved yet, and we have expended 4.05% of our budgeted expenditures. That is, for the most part, for people, personnel. These are things we are kind of pre-approved for. We know it's okay to spend this money, but of course we have not been able to draw on any of those funds yet. We have the FY24 final year-end school activity report. I'll give Martha just a second to click over to, I believe it was the very last one.
This one?
Yes. Yep. We report this to you at the end of each quarter. So this is the FY24 year-end summary. The schools, as of today, had done final adjustments to this, so this should match. I had $3.23 that we were moving, but I believe we actually have everything covered in this budget. We anticipated that, so we are required to report this after the end of each quarter for your approval. If you have any questions, let me know. Did everyone receive their FY23 audit results? No. We should receive them by email. You have not. You have not.
Let's say.
You did, Mr. Gartrell?
I believe I did.
Okay, I know Dr. Thomas did. I'll check on y'all's.
If you did receive it and you see that, will you please let me know? Just, shoot me a text, a call, or email, something, to let me know for sure before I reach out to audit. It should be to your school email address. No findings, everything went great through the audit, very pleased with the results of the 2 audits, our regular general fund, federal programs, and our SPLOST, so. Let's see. I believe that's all I had tonight. Y'all have any questions?
Just so for members of the press and people watching at home, I mean, what does it look like 24 is going to end? Are we pretty close to knowing how we're going to be compared to budget at this point?
Compared to budget?
Compared to budget.
Martha, do you mind pulling up, it says FY24 fund update.
I think I have it up. We'll do it again.
This is where we are right now. Actually, I'm gonna have to look at the one on paper because I can't see that. I can see this one. The things where we have not closed out yet are ad valorem taxes. We are still allowed to collect those property, intangible, real estate transfer taxes through the end of August. They are coming in, we have booked, at the time that this was done, I believe July had been booked, but none of August had been booked. There's a process involved in that too, where they're booked properly. So we're waiting on those. We have, I believe we actually have one general fund purchase order that I'm still chasing for $125. If you'll scroll on down, well, I know Fund 150 is not closed. We have not cleared, scroll on down just a little bit more. There we go. It is not closed. This fund has a very large effect on general fund. This is part of general fund. We have some federal grant issues going on that affect this fund, and we've not done the June transfer. That is a $200,000 to $500,000 issue, so that is not finalized. If you're wanting, are you wanting to know fund balance?
Yeah, how we're trending for last year.
Okay, scroll back up one, please.
So we're still the top number of 2 million.
We're still going to have revenue coming in, but what you can look at here, this is what we've actually collected today, so that's at the end of the revenue, year to date, and then here are our expenses. Our expenses are within $125 being done. So this number is almost dead on. I've got that one invoice that I'm chasing.
And the
2 million.
But we may have more, we know we have more revenue coming in for August.
And we're already at $2 million under budget
Yes.
for last year.
Yes. So we will be very close to that range. August, what's coming in August is trickling in. It is not a time when we get large amounts in typically, unless the county has done what is called a FIFA, where they go after back taxes. You're gonna see a very small amount come in. Typically July and August we'll collect anywhere from $300,000 to $500,000 for both months. It's been a little slow. I know we were around the 300,000 mark. I'm trying to remember which week that was through, but I don't think we're gonna have more than $500,000 change, but we're looking at over $2 million in additional fund balance. Now, we do have Fund 150 that will have an effect on this too, so we will have a little bit of change, but you will see the final numbers on that and have the exact penny amount of fund balance left from this year.
I understand. I just kind of wanted to give everybody a feel for where we were on.
We are very good at earning money, and we're good at managing money too. We don't spend when we don't have to. Do y'all have any other questions? That's all.
Thank you, Ms. Smith.
Thank you.
This time I'll turn it over to our Assistant Superintendent, Mr. Chris Parker. He's going to give us a brief operations and construction update.
All right, so, yeah, normally Abby, she's new. The kids get up and everybody gets excited, and then Amy comes up and, But
Now it's you.
now it's you. But they didn't clap for her, Amy, and they didn't clap for you. And, I mean, you did. I don't know if you guys heard that are watching, he said $2 million under budget, and that didn't even get an applause from you, so. Yeah.
It's just expected.
Gotta do a little better this year, Amy.
All that hard work and money.
All right, so because it's, our regular meeting mid-July, early July last time, and now the summer is closed for us, right, in operation and construction, try to every August give the summer report, essentially what did happen over the entire summer, new construction, renovations, improvements, things like that. So that's what we'll talk about tonight. This is all part of our strategic plan, goal area 4, organization operational effectiveness. So this may be a little harder to see, but you guys should be able to see it on your screen. What do we do? And we went back and just looked at everything work orders, money spent, different things we did from the last day of school until August 1st. And I don't want to read all those things, but we had an enormous amount of renovations. We probably did more things. We definitely did more things than we've seen since I've been here. And there's a combination of reasons for that. But really proud that we were able to get everything done. And Jacob and Chris are here to be commended for that. I didn't really do anything, but I did organize this slide. So that counts for a little something. But even things like, so we did 2 outdoor classrooms. We renovated 2 media centers. We totally renovated 6 bathrooms. It was all at JMS, but very necessary. We put in 39 different new HVAC units. 39 over the summer, yeah. How about that, Amy? Thinking spending money gets people clapping.
Yeah.
Saving it.
I noticed that.
But Jacob and his group put in over 400 paper towel dispensers. Just to give you an idea what they're doing. I hope people are watching this. But I don't want to read through all those things. But you guys know the capital projects we did, the SPLOST things, the big projects we reported on every month. Field house complete, I'm going to show you in a minute. Phase 1 renovation at the high school, and then the gyms, roofs at both the high school and the junior high. We put in a new pole barn, put in a new transportation training room. We had a few repair things. But I wanted to talk more about the far right side, which was new initiatives. We took in the custodians, which you guys know was a transition, something the board had wanted, and something that really had been decided for months. But like a lot of decisions, you decide it months ago, and you finally start seeing the fruits of that decision months later. We've really been happy with the custodians and taking them in-house. The buildings have looked great. JMS in particular has been, I think Miranda have told me that, you and I haven't talked, but I've been told several times that the teachers, especially JMS, are very excited about how nice the building looks. So really been happy with the work of the custodians as a whole, and Jacob's done a great job with those. And we've got monthly meetings. I put on there, Jacob's meeting with the lead custodians every month. They're going through what's working well, what's not, how we can support them. We have a monthly schedule with our operations team meeting. We're trying to have some new initiatives where we really support each other, whether it's with construction or, maintenance or custodial. Some long-term planning we've worked with you guys on over the summer on what we want to do over the next 4 or 5 years, and then being able to track things a little better. But I put the maintenance tickets over there on the side because that was over the summer. There was no teachers here to put in maintenance tickets, and they did 524. So I thought that was a lot. So, but those are the things we put in that our staff would have done. Our staff did some of the other things too, but some of that stuff we used outside contractors for. But our staff, we only got 7 of them, but our staff puts in all those maintenance tickets and contributed to all the projects as well. So really, really proud of the work they did. The summer is the hard time. All the hard times are hard sometimes for the maintenance guys, but the summer is really their really heavy time when the teachers aren't there. So anyway, I want to show the field house is done. We're moved in. Yeah, beautiful place. You guys have only heard about it for years. So love to have everybody down there sometime. Guess we're gonna be there tomorrow, right?
Compliant now.
We're in compliant. Tomorrow,
Compliant.
the Dragons play tomorrow night. It's a scrimmage, but if we score a lot of points and we look good as a scrimmage, it doesn't matter. It counts. If we didn't, it was just a scrimmage. But really happy with the place. The staff's really excited. That's the old building was about 25 years old, 26 years old, and I'm really excited for these guys to get in there. Kids were really excited. They moved over the weekend, and you see a lot of excitement from those players. Kitchen in the cafeteria. I mean, they've got a couple parts that will be still coming in full transparency, but the project of renovation is complete. And so the brand new kitchen, cafeteria has been done. I'm not gonna put you on the spot, Beth, but I think we're happy with the kitchen. We've got a few things we're working through to finalize, but students are eating lunch there every day. Staff seems to be happy, so even though that was, we had a 3-year high school remodel plan, and a lot of it was on the front end in the planning in year one. We just didn't see a lot of major changes, but in the kitchen, you would see a major change, and in the cafeteria. So transportation has a new facility to train. They were in a trailer that they've been in for years. We were able to not build a new building, but carve out an area of an existing building and create a training center that I put up against anybody, especially a district our size. Nobody has a better facility than that. To train our bus drivers, this is for new drivers, it could be for retraining, or it can be used for our professional staff there or maintenance staff. It can be used with other groups too. So really proud of those projects in particular over the summer. And thanks to the guys, we've had an interesting time since the last time we had a regular board meeting. We've had some issues, and we've addressed those with you guys with weather and things like that. So really proud of our staff, everybody that's on our staff, the custodial team, food service team, bus drivers, maintenance guys, all of them. But I know Beth and Chris and Jacob are here, especially their leadership of really making some of those things happen so school can go, right? So thank you to them. And you guys have any questions?
It's awesome.
Just thank you guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate all the hard work.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Parker.
We don't always hear the good when somebody's calling us. It's usually not good. But we have heard about how much more effective maintenance is, how much better people like the custodians in-house. Because the cleaner, I'm sure y'all would tell us you could get something taken care of quicker now than you could before. So that was the general idea when we made that move. So thank y'all.
And so one final thing, I just want to share with you just an update from the superintendent comments. We're close to finishing our first full week of school, and Martha has displayed what our enrollment numbers look like today compared to 1 year ago from today. And so the first column just is today's enrollment, and then the second column is August 8th, 2023. You see at Hill City, at Harmony, and at the junior high, we're above our enrollment this time last year. And at Tate, Jasper Middle, and the high school, we're a little below our enrollment this time last year. Overall, as a district, we're about 21 students less this year compared to August 8th of 23. And we thought we would dip a little bit with our enrollment from last year to this year. So those numbers are what we're expecting. And then, Martha, if you'll scroll down a little bit, just want to give you some data that we have received. Our kids at the high school, they take AP tests, AP classes. AP stands for Advanced Placement. And these are rigorous classes and rigorous tests that if students score well enough, they can earn college credit. And the way the AP exams are scored, they're between 1 and 5. 5's the best you can score. But you typically earn college credit if you score a 3, 4, or 5 on the AP exam. So we got this information back about a month ago. And if you look at the data from the last 5 years, we had the highest number of students taking AP classes at Pickens High School last spring than any other year prior to last spring, the last 5 years. And then additionally, the high school also had the highest number of students last spring scoring a 3 or higher compared to any other year over the last 5 years. So shout out to our teachers and our students for that information. And then just a few upcoming dates. We do have a call board meeting next Thursday at 8 a.m. for tentative millage approval. And then 2 weeks later, we'll have a call board meeting at 8 a.m. on the 29th for final millage approval. Jeep Fest is the 30th of August. That's a virtual day for our students because of the traffic in town. That's the Friday before the Labor Day holiday on September the 2nd. Our September work session is September the 6th at 1 o'clock. Our regular board meeting is the 12th, and then our fall break is the following week. That's all I have, Mr. Lau.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Thomas. All right, next is our action items. Approval of personnel is up first. Do I have a motion to approve the personnel action report as presented?
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor? 5-0. All right. All right, we got the approval of the FY24 budget amendments that Ms. Smith talked to us about. Do I have a motion to approve the FY24 budget amendment as presented?
So moved.
Trill, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Sue Finley. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? 5-0. Okay, our consent agenda, approval is requested for the following items listed on our consent agenda tonight. That'd be our financial reports, approval of out-of-state overnight field trips, approval of an MOU with Pickens Urgent Care for the school-based mobile diagnostic unit. Okay. And so I think, would we just want to have some comments? Or just- So we have Ms. King with us from the urgent care tonight, so we're glad that she's with us. Thank you. Approval of the MOU with Piedmont University College of Education. Minutes from the following board meetings. That's July 11th called and budget hearing, July 11th regular board meeting, July 23rd called meeting, and the August 2nd called board meeting. And then we got surplus from the following departments: JMS, Microscopes, and PJHS Media Center. So that's everything on the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Joe Wiggington, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Finley. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? 5-0. All right. All right. Dr. Thomas, have we received any requests for public participation?
No, sir, we have not.
Okay. All right. We're up to our board comments. Ms. King, did you have anything you wanted to share with us?
I don't. We're
Okay.
excited to be going in our 4th year. If anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer those.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. All right. Do we have any board comments?
Yeah, I got one. I just, over this last couple of months, went through some tough times, but what excites me about is everybody on the same team here. It seems like everybody's working hard and pushing hard to get things done. And I just want to say, hey, thank you so much for all your hard work, and I applaud you.
I just echo that too. I think you, I know start of school always has some challenges, so I know many of you have been working really hard to do that, so get everything worked, so thank you. Thank you for all you've done, particularly in the last week and a half. I've been praying for you. So.
What they said.
All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Come on.
Joe Wiggington and Tommy Nortrell. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? 5-0. We are adjourned at 6:38 p.m.